The story of the Netherlands begins in a wet, windswept land. Much of this region was swamp and marsh. Rivers like the Rhine, Meuse, and Scheldt flowed through it. They created a delta, a land of shifting soil and water. Life here was difficult for early people. Floods were a constant danger, a threat to homes and lives. Yet, people came and found ways to survive in this challenging place. Celtic and Germanic tribes were among the first known inhabitants. Groups like the Frisi settled along the northern coast. The Batavi lived further south near the rivers. These tribes learned to live with the water. They built their homes on small man-made hills called terpen. These mounds protected them from high tides and river floods. Around 50 BCE, the Romans arrived in this watery region. The Rhine River became a major frontier for the Roman Empire. The Batavi famously revolted against Roman rule in 69 CE. By the 4th century CE, Roman power in the area weakened. Water was the great shaper of the early Netherlands. It was both a source of life and a constant, deadly threat. The North Sea battered the coastline with storms and high tides. The great rivers frequently overflowed their banks. Devastating floods like the St. Lucia's flood in 1287 were common. Living in these lowlands meant a continuous battle against the water. To survive, the Dutch had to become masters of water management. They started by reinforcing the natural dunes along the coast. They built more terpen, those artificial dwelling mounds. Then came the dikes, earthen walls to hold back the sea and rivers. Early communities had to work together to build and maintain these defenses. This cooperation led to the creation of waterschappen, or waterboards. The invention of the windmill brought a new era of control. Windmills were powerfully employed to pump water out of low-lying areas. These reclaimed lands are called polders. Slowly, painstakingly, the Dutch expanded their small country. The need for careful planning and shared effort became ingrained. The fight against water was not just about survival, it shaped their identity. By the 16th century, the lands we now call the Netherlands were part of a larger empire. They were ruled by the Habsburg monarchs, first Charles V, then his son Philip II of Spain. Philip II sought to centralize his power and increase taxes. He also fiercely opposed the Protestant Reformation, which was gaining followers. Many Dutch people had embraced Calvinism, a form of Protestantism. This put them in direct conflict with their Catholic Spanish king. Discontent erupted into open revolt. In 1566, the iconoclastic fury, or Beeldenstorm, swept through the region. Protestants destroyed religious images in Catholic churches. His response was harsh and unforgiving. He sent the Duke of Alba with an army to crush the rebellion. A key figure emerged to lead the Dutch revolt, William of Orange. He believed the Spanish king was trampling on the traditional rights and freedoms of the provinces. William organized resistance and became a symbol of Dutch defiance. The sea beggars, Dutch privateers, played a crucial role. They attacked Spanish shipping and captured coastal towns for the revolt. The northern provinces in particular became determined to be free from Spanish rule. As the war against Spain continued, the rebellious provinces needed to unite. In 1579, several northern provinces signed the Union of Utrecht. This agreement was a crucial step towards forming a new nation. They pledged to support each other in the fight against Spanish rule. While not yet a full declaration of independence, it was a powerful statement. 2 years later, in 1581, these united provinces took an even bolder step. They issued the Act of Abjuration, effectively declaring their independence. In this document, they formally renounced Philip II as their king. They argued that a ruler who oppressed his subjects forfeited his right to rule. This was a radical idea for its time. The Act of Abjuration was a revolutionary statement of popular sovereignty. After declaring independence, the Dutch provinces faced a new problem. They needed a new leader, a new sovereign. They offered the crown to several European nobles. However, these attempts to find a suitable monarch failed. This led the Dutch to make another groundbreaking decision. They decided they did not need a king at all. Section 5, the Dutch Golden Age, a flourishing of trade and culture. The 17th century is known as the Dutch Golden Age. Its economy boomed, driven by international trade and shipping. Amsterdam became the richest city in the world, a bustling hub of commerce. Dutch ships sailed to all corners of the globe. They brought back spices from Asia, sugar from the Americas, and goods from across Europe. The Dutch East India Company, founded in 1602, was a giant enterprise. This era was also a golden age for Dutch culture and science. Dutch painters created masterpieces that are still admired today. Section 6. Shadows of Empire, Colonialism, and its Complex Legacy. The Dutch Golden Age was built not only on trade and ingenuity, it also had a darker side: colonialism and involvement in the slave trade. The Dutch East India Company, or VOC, was a powerful force in Asia. It established a vast trading empire, particularly in what is now Indonesia. The VOC sought to control the lucrative spice trade, especially nutmeg, cloves, and pepper. To achieve this, they often used ruthless and violent methods. The Dutch West India Company, or WIC, founded in 1621, operated in the Atlantic. It was heavily involved in the transatlantic slave trade. Dutch ships transported hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans. These people were taken from their homes under brutal conditions. They were forcibly brought to colonies in the Americas. The WIC established plantations in places like Suriname and the Caribbean islands. These plantations, producing sugar, coffee, and tobacco, relied on enslaved labor. The impact of Dutch colonialism on the colonized populations was devastating. Local economies were disrupted and restructured to serve Dutch interests. Section 7. Turbulent Tides, Decline, Revolution, and Napoleonic Rule. After the splendors of the Golden Age, the 18th century brought challenges. The Dutch Republic began to experience a period of relative decline. Its economic dominance was increasingly challenged by other European powers. Great Britain, in particular, emerged as a major rival in trade and naval strength. France also grew in power and influence on the continent. The Republic fought several costly wars, especially against England. These conflicts strained its finances and weakened its position. Internally, the Dutch Republic faced political problems. The complex, decentralized system of government sometimes led to stagnation. Power struggles continued between the Orangist faction, supporters of the Princes of Orange, and the Republican-minded Patriots. The Patriots were inspired by Enlightenment ideas and the American Revolution. They called for democratic reforms and an end to corruption. Social unrest grew as economic difficulties affected ordinary people. The French Revolution, which began in 1789, had a profound impact. In 1795, French revolutionary armies invaded the Dutch Republic. They were supported by Dutch patriots who hoped for reform. The old Republic of the Seven United Netherlands collapsed. Section 8. Trials of the 20th Century, War, Reconstruction, and Shifting Tides. The Netherlands managed to remain neutral during World War I. This was a difficult balancing act, surrounded by warring nations. While it avoided direct conflict, the war still had a significant impact. Trade was disrupted, and there were shortages of goods. The interwar period, the 1920s and 1930s, brought economic challenges. The Great Depression hit the Netherlands hard, causing unemployment and poverty. Political tensions rose in Europe with the rise of fascism and Nazism. Despite these difficulties, the Dutch hoped to maintain their neutrality. This hope was shattered in May 1940. Nazi Germany invaded the Netherlands, violating its neutrality. The Dutch army fought bravely but was quickly overwhelmed. Queen Wilhelmina and the government fled to London to form a government in exile. 5 years of German occupation followed. It was a dark time of oppression, persecution, and hardship. The Jewish population suffered terribly under the Holocaust. Anne Frank's story is a poignant reminder. The final months, known as the Hunger Winter of 1944 to 1945, were especially brutal. After liberation in May 1945, the Netherlands faced a monumental task. Section 9. Modern Netherlands Innovation, Challenges, and Enduring Spirit. Today, the Netherlands is a modern, prosperous, and highly developed nation. It consistently ranks high in global measures of quality of life. Despite its small size, it has a significant impact on the world stage. It is a major player in international trade and logistics. The port of Rotterdam is one of the busiest in the world. Dutch agriculture is incredibly efficient and innovative. The country is a world leader in water management technology. This expertise is sought after globally, especially as climate change brings new water challenges. The Netherlands is known for its socially progressive policies and tolerant atmosphere. It was the first country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage. It has a long tradition of welcoming refugees and immigrants. This has created a diverse and multicultural society. However, this tolerance is sometimes tested by debates about integration and national identity. The Dutch value open discussion and debate on social issues. Freedom of speech is a cherished principle, though it can lead to friction. The cultural ethos emphasizes pragmatism and finding practical solutions. The Dutch spirit of resilience, cooperation, and innovation remains strong.